Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. It is a very exciting time in Call of Duty right now, to say the least. Obviously, we've got a lot going on this week. The coming months are going to be very exciting, but between today and I guess just the general week that we're in right now, we've got a lot going on specifically in Warzone. Just yesterday, we actually got some word on some new updates and some new things that Raven is working on fixing and patching into the game here in the near future. Today, we actually ended up getting another new DLC weapon and another new weapon for Season 5, which is, I think, the earliest we've ever seen a new weapon added in. We're pretty much just like a week into the season at this point. And I also got a special new package from Call of Duty as well, sort of teasing what's coming later on this week. So as we go over everything, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. Let's go for 3,500 likes on this video. Seriously, does help out the channel. And of course, if you're new to the channel or if you haven't already subscribed, feel free to do so. That way you can always stay up to date with everything going on. News, updates, intel, loadouts, it is all right here. Also, my friends over at Scuf just launched their brand new Scuf Instinct. This is the Scuf controller for the Xbox Series X and Series S. So if you play on the new Xbox and you want a Scuf controller, they are finally here. COD WARZONE has got you covered with a nice discount at checkout. So first up, let's talk a bit about what Raven revealed earlier on this week. To be honest, they haven't been super active in the past few weeks and months when talking about future changes that they're going to be updating in Warzone. You know, a lot of the patch notes we get are now our first time seeing a lot of those issues. But earlier on this week, they did actually update the Trello board. Now we have a handful of things they are investigating, meaning these are things that should be fixed here relatively soon. They're looking into them. They should put out some fixes. I would hope at the latest by the mid-season update, which is going to take place in early to mid-September. But we do have a few things in the Trello board listing that are a bit older. The game files for console players that have to constantly reinstall. I know on PlayStation 5, I even have this issue where I can't really play Warzone there because I have multiplayer pack 1 and multiplayer pack 2 never actually fully installing. They are also still looking into the black screen on exfil for Xbox One. I don't think that's as common anymore, but it is still being looked into. And then some of the newer investigations are as follows. Blueprint Blitz. Some players are unable to see contraband contracts and some players are not receiving the correct blueprints. This is why Blueprint Blitz was actually suspended and temporarily removed. Back when it first was introduced into the game, it was only live for like a day or two, then they removed it. I assume it's going to be coming back at some point in the future because they made a whole deal about it and it was this big thing, and then it was removed almost immediately and not everyone got to experience it. So it is going to come back at some point in time. They have not said when, but I'll let you guys know if and when that ever happens. Stuck inputs. Players are experiencing stuck inputs after performing certain actions. This is resulting in players running when no input is pressed or being unable to climb ladders. So you basically can't interact with the environment. And I think this also has to do like with the whole thing when you slide and your camera gets locked, you can't look down. They said they fixed that a while ago. It's definitely not fixed. I run into it all the time. I assume that's also in the stuck inputs section as well. Then also contract cash. Players won't receive cash when they are not close to a squad mate who completes a contract. This is especially prevalent with bounties right now. Pretty much if you get a bounty and you're not standing right next to the person who activated the bounty, only that person who activated it is going to get that cash reward. Everyone else does not get anything unless you're standing pretty much right on top of them. So that's not an intended update. It was bugged with the Season 5 patch, and they are working to fix that issue as well. Now, like I mentioned, today a bunch of different creators got sent a secret package from Activision. Shout out FedEx for literally never delivering my packages by noon. Love it. So while mine is still in the back of a truck somewhere, Jordan or Espresso got his, and this is what the package contains. A little wooden box which has the contents of a blueprint poster and also a Battle of Verdansk poster. Now on the poster, obviously we see like the logo for the event. I would imagine that's like what the big cog with the sword through it is. We have join the fight, then we see a new RPD blueprint, a knife blueprint, and then also a watch, which presumably are going to be the new rewards you can get for completing or rather participating in the event itself. Sort of just like how during the whole Know Your History event, we got the SKS blueprint from Woods and whatnot. Now the blueprint poster shows what appears to be like some giant cannon, I would say it is. Then in the bottom right, it has a German name that I definitely cannot pronounce. It's like Beleidigenwagen, maybe? No idea. I'm bad at words. But yeah, new teaser for the Battle of Verdansk event. And by the way, Raven did also mention that the event is going to be available longer than just tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. It's going to run throughout the remainder of the day, then also I think through the weekend as well. So it's not going to be just a one-time thing, but 10:30 a.m. Pacific time is going to be when it initially is going to take place, and that's when we'll be able to experience it for the very first time. Then in addition to all that, today we did get a brand new weapon in Call of Duty Warzone, then also over in Cold War, and that is the Marshal, which is a pistol slash a shotgun. It's like a 2-in-1 basically, and it's really weird because we've never seen all of a season's weapons drop this early into a season. Like, we're only a week and a half into season 5, and we already have the 2 battle pass weapons, and we now already have the Marshal as well. And that's all the main ranged weapons on the roadmap. So maybe we're gonna get some surprises in the second half of the season or something. I don't know. But as far as the Marshal goes, this is very straightforward. I thought I was gonna have to jump in and grind out a ton of games and figure out what the best attachments were and everything like that. But it's a very simple weapon. As far as the unlock challenges go, for multiplayer and Warzone, using pistols, you need to get a headshot in 15 different completed matches. So in Cold War, if you get 1 headshot, you do have to finish the match. But I think the easiest way to do this is to play Plunder, jump in, land it like Superstore or Storage Town, like the hotter areas on the map, get 1 headshot with like a Psychov or a Diamati or an Amp, one of the easier pistols to use, then back out. Because in Warzone, you can back out of the match after you complete the challenge, and it should track. Do that 15 times. That should take like, I don't know, an hour tops for most players. Super easy there and really shouldn't take too long. And then in zombies, the unlock challenge says using pistols, kill 30 disciples while they have at least 5 zombies under their control. So like I said, I do think the multiplayer challenges, or the Warzone challenge rather, is pretty easy. I think that's the best way to go about unlocking this. And then when it comes to the setup, like I said, this is a very basic and kind of strange weapon. So as of right now, I don't have it unlocked, but I can go into private match and look at all the attachments, because if you go into Warzone custom games, you have everything unlocked right away. And there's only 4 attachment spots on the Marshal. As far as the barrels go, we have an extended barrel, which increases the velocity, and the cut down or the sawed off barrel, which actually increases the range and the velocity, but it hurts the sprinting move speed and the aim walking move speed. Personally, I feel like the cut down is probably the better of the two, because you're getting some added range and some added velocity, whereas with the extended, you're just getting velocity, but you are going to be slightly faster with the extended. So if you're trying to use this for, a faster close range weapon, maybe that's your go-to. But personally, I see myself rocking the cut down, and also because it's going to look cooler as well. For the optics, you get a quick dot LED and a microflex LED. I wouldn't really recommend using either of those. You could if you wanted to, because you don't really, have to waste an attachment spot elsewhere, because there's not enough to fill out the entire gun. But it's a sawed-off shotgun, essentially. The iron sights are just fine, in my opinion. For the stock, we've got one option, and that is dual wield. However, if you use dual wield, you actually get a decrease to the damage. You have a wider pellet spread, you have worse range, and worse movement speed. So while it is cool to have dual sawed-off shotguns or sawed-off pistols, it's not necessarily going to be the most effective all the time. But obviously, you're not going to have to reload as much. That won't be as much of an issue. So it's sort of weighing the pros and cons against one another. Personally, though, with the lack of damage, with the lack of range, movement speed, everything like that, I don't feel like dual wield would be the best way to go about it. It's certainly viable, but I think just using a single Marshal is probably the way to go. And then for ammunition, you can go for the Dragon's Breath rounds. It adds incendiary damage, but it does actually decrease the impact damage. You get a wider pellet spread, and you get worse range as well. So quite a few cons to really make this weapon viable at all. Dragon's Breath right now could be semi-viable, because a lot of players are using cold-blooded to counter, combat scout and whatnot. So fire damage and incendiary damage does do more because people aren't running EOD. But again, you have quite a few cons here. Is it worth using all the time? I'm not too sure. Like, obviously, we're going to have to test more and more, but just off of my initial assumption, I don't necessarily see Dragon's Breath and even like dual wield being the most viable setup here with the cut down barrel. You might be getting the most out of the Marshal by just using one attachment in the cut down barrel itself, or even just the extended barrel, because obviously everything else is going to hurt the range as well. Do I see this being a meta weapon? Honestly, not all that much. Compared to the other pistol options out there, I just feel like they are more reliable, more versatile, and easier to use as well. This thing is going to take some patience. Obviously, you have to be super accurate with it, because it is, a little bit more of an unforgiving weapon when it comes down to it. Like, all around, the Marshal, while it seemed like it could be busted, because I know we all remember the Marshals from BO3, which were really good, it seems like they actually balanced this out pretty well with the various pros and cons that things like dual wield and Dragon's Breath have on there. So the Marshal is out. That's probably my recommended setup for it, just using the cut down barrel, as strange as that is, and how to unlock it the fastest. Definitely a surprise that we're getting this early on, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, with all that being said, that is everything we currently know about the future updates that Raven has revealed so far. What's going on with the whole Battle for Verdansk event tomorrow, then also the new Marshal pistol / shotgun that we got today. That's gonna wrap things up for today. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. Would be seriously appreciated. And of course, if you are new to the channel or if you haven't already subscribed, feel free to do so. That way you can always stay up to date with the latest Call of Duty news, updates, intel, loadouts, tips, and really everything else going on. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL for a spicy discount on all Scuf, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products, and the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.